Good. Vibing out. I wish I had a water, but I'll get a water after, so that's fine. But no, that's everything's good. We're here. All right, let's do this. Welcome back to episode 36 of the Mackin Show. Cue claps. I didn't do it last episode. We're gonna do it this episode. We're still working on intros. We're getting it, but you guys are gonna get a sooner episode than usual because there has just in the last 3 days alone been so much going on, and especially after the last episode dropped tonight, we got done watching the Roast of Tom Brady, which I will heavily talk about, and then I was like, I need to get to the studio. Usually I'll let it linger for a few days and I'll be like, all right, well, I'm going to film an episode this day and I'll talk about it all then. But with everything that's been going on and how much stuff has been, I needed an episode ASAP. So welcome back to the Mackin Show. Always, honestly, if I could have it my way, and it's just a lot of work being the only one who does it, I would film 5 days, 7 days a week. I would do 7 episodes a week, to be honest. Shout out to Part of My Take, who basically does that same thing. Also, shout out Stella Blue Coffee, which is the sponsor of this podcast. Not really the sponsor. I'm just saying they're the sponsor because I fucking love Big Cat. And shout out Stella Blue because their hats are awesome. So that's where we're at. But with a little other life updates at the moment that we'll talk about. I always say life updates, and it definitely sounds like more fucking serious than it really is. So like, I got to find a better terminology for it than like life update. Like, oh my God, but what's been going on? Like fun shit that's been going on. And basically, so last night I got to go see my favorite fucking comedian live. And what I mean by that is I got to go see Shane Gillis for Netflix as a Joke. They're doing comedy festivals all around LA. And I got to see Shane at the Greek Theater, which was sick. It was an early birthday gift from Emma. Shout out you, babe. And it was awesome. It was everything I would have possibly hoped it would be. So I've been a Shane Gillis fan for a little while now. Like, you know, listen to every podcast episode, love his specials, like his sketch comedy. This podcast knows at this point, like I'm a big Shane Gillis fan. So I was really, really excited for this one. And I was curious where I was like, all right, his last Netflix special that he did was so good. Is this show going to be same material, same type of stuff? Is he going to be as Shane Gillis as he usually is? Which I won't say I doubted, because listening to his podcast, he's the same every episode. Like just in the way he goes about things, how he tells a story, his jokes, everything. Like this Shane Gillis show was everything I would have hoped it would be. It was absolutely fucking hilarious. All new material. He had Matt McCusker open for him, which was awesome. John, I forget his other two openers. I'm sorry, but they were also killer. But Matt McCusker opening for him, and it was awesome because when Matt was doing his 10 minutes before Shane went on, you could see Shane in the side watching Matt like a proud best friend. Like, it was sick because obviously, like, you know, they're close, awesome, but like Shane wasn't anywhere, you know, getting ready for his shit, yada yada. He was just watching Matt do his shit, and it was awesome. And the reason I liked it, on top of Shane's material was great, the crowd was great. And like, what I mean by that is, with someone like Shane, like, I'm not, for me personally, if he did a one-man show, it would be a fucking hit every time because I would laugh at everything he says. But, you know, for comedy shows, and I mean, it's the same with concerts and shit too, like, you know, the crowd makes up a big part of that. Like, the act can be really good, but if the crowd's not giving anything, then it's just like, okay, this is kind of, not that the performance is whack, but like, yo, this environment sucks right now. Like, shit. And it's LA. And obviously, if you know Shane Gillis and the type of comedy he makes and the type of place Los Angeles is, you don't know if is there going to be fucking way too sensitive people in the crowd that shouldn't be at a fucking comedy show anyways. Like, who knows? The crowd was amazing. And even Shane was surprised by that. He was just like, damn. Like, a couple times in the show, he took a second to be like, oh, y'all like that one. Like, damn, okay. And at the end of the show, he talked about how great it was. And yeah, it was everything I could have hoped for and more. He did the Trump impression. I got to see it in person. It was sick. He did his Down syndrome jokes, and just, he was Shane Gillis to a T, and I loved every second of it. Very up there for one of the best birthday presents I've gotten in a long time. My birthday's in 9 days. Thank you very much. But no, it was sick. It was just a great show. The Greek theater's cool as shit. I've never been to the Greek theater before, and like they had this huge outside venue that has like, it literally felt like you were at a frat almost. Like they had outside Connect Four and what's the game where you toss sandbags into cornhole and other shit. They had like, drink places, food shit. It was really, really cool. Emma got us, we were literally three rows away from the stage, which was sick. So like I got to see it that close. And no, it was the best comedy show I've ever been to in my life. One of the best just like in-person things I've ever done also. And it made me love comedy so much more. Like, truthfully, and I know this is going to sound so like, well, obviously everyone, like, if you could give me one level or like one route of entertainment I would like to go, it would either be like a stand-up comedy or just comedy in some way, shape, or form. Like just comedy entertainment. Like I've always been a huge fan of comedy, and in the last like 6-7 years have been like bigger, like way bigger into stand-up. And then once I found Shane, I was like, yeah, like this dude and his friends, everyone who does the Mothership over in Austin is just like killer when it comes to comedy, and Shane just absolutely fucking kills it. So no, we got to see Shane Gillis live. It was sick. Everything, I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record and giddy, but like everything I wanted it to fucking be, and I definitely want to see him again. But I'm hyped because now I only gotta wait for like 3 weeks ish, a little under 3 weeks, for his Netflix show Tires to come out, which essentially what I'm gathering from it is it's just going to be a way better produced version of his sketch comedy, and his sketch comedy series that he did was absolutely hilarious. Like, and he has other comics like Stavros on. I don't think John Mulaney's on, but him, his friend who helped him write the sketch comedies, writing these episodes too. So I'm hype about that. And yeah, that was just really, really cool. So that's what I did last night. Played some pickleball yesterday. I will say, when pickleball first got introduced to me, I'm like, this shit's hard. I'm not going to like this shit. Damn. Then I looked at some of the benefits from it where I was like, all right, like rich or cool people like to do pickleball shit. So like, maybe that's a cool way to like meet some cool people. Haven't met any like rich or cool people yet, but a lot of my friends like to play pickleball, and I learned how to play pickleball. Fucking love pickleball. Pickleball, I just said that word like 80 times, is so fun because it's essentially just mini tennis. A couple different rules, like being in the kitchen, you gotta let the ball bounce twice before hitting in the air, like whatever. But the general just fun game of pickleball is sick. And I went to go play it with our friend Brianna and her friend and Emma yesterday morning. I went 3-0. No big deal. Like, just this 24-year-old guy playing against a bunch of girls, going 3-0. Like, no biggie. Like, I wasn't sitting here with a big head or anything. Like, we went out to lunch after. I was sitting there wondering why, like, it was fascinating that nobody there, like, knew they were dining with the 3-0 pickleball champion. And, like, that's fine. Like, shit happens. But regardless, pickleball is fucking awesome. So we did that yesterday. And then, honestly, keeping on the comedy train, before I get into a huge conversation about what's been taking over the internet, tonight was the roast of Tom Brady. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. I would say this is probably up there for my top 2 roasts ever. Like this one and Justin Bieber. It was awesome. It like, first off, the comics that were there when they had Kevin Hart, Andrew Schulz, Tom Segura, Burt Kreischer, Tony Hinchcliffe, Will fucking Ferrell came out as Ron Burgundy. Absolutely insane. They had Ben Affleck, who his shit was kind of weird, and then Kim Kardashian did a quick little bit. Dana White did a quick little bit. Like Peyton Manning came out and did a quick little bit. Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft both did some shit. And it was such a good night for comedy. Like, there's so much that happened in this 3-hour roast that is just, Nikki Glazer. Absolutely. She probably had one of the best sets of the night. My fault for, and obviously Roast Master Jeff Ross. Sorry. I know I'm leaving people out and shit, but they all killed it. And the event that took place during this roast was crazy. Because first off, let me tell you, hand up, I was wrong because I was betting Emma and Caitlin and a couple other friends that there hasn't been a roast in like 8 years or something like that. So when the Roast of Tom Brady came out, I was telling my friends, I was just like, it's going to be so cookie cutter. And it's Tom Brady. So I wasn't sure how like far they were going to go. I was like, it's going to be cookie cutter. They're going to be all clean with it. They're just going to talk about it as it go, yada, yada. The first 5 to 10 minutes, Kevin Hart went in on him, talking about his plastic surgery, going in on Tom's marriage and divorce and family stuff, the TB12, like went in the first 5 to 10 minutes. So the second that happened, I was like, oh, like we're here for a real like Comedy Central style roast, like big time. Because again, my thought was, all right, we used to have roasts where, Pete Davidson was telling Justin Bieber he wished he died in 9/11 instead of, his dad, telling Kevin Hart that you look like Shaq's skeleton or that Snoop looks like a retired WNBA player. Like stuff like that. So and it's 2024. And trust me, I know comedy's back on the come up with stuff, but which is annoying and that it had to get to that point. But I was looking at it like, damn, it's going to be clean. Could not have been more wrong. And everybody truly, other than Ben Affleck, because I don't know what his angle was and whatnot, but everybody killed it. Like, you had Kevin Hart just going in on Tom Brady and his marriage. Jeff Ross came out as basically the ghost of O.J. Simpson, like, from hell, basically. They had a ton of Aaron Hernandez jokes talking about kicking the stool. So many, like, jokes about that. They joked about his TB12 brand and just how he's just, like, weird when it comes to health. They called Gronk retarded God knows how many times. Like, and I'm just saying what other people said, first off. But so many times. Kim Kardashian got booed for, like, an entire minute in this roast, which I had 2 friends that were at the roast, and judging by being at comedy shows, I can understand how annoying it was. Like, I didn't get that. Like, don't get me wrong. I know this was a lot of NFL fans and everything like that, but, like, after her SNL skit, Kim is known to be funny with written material, and she already had, like, a little rumor with Tom. Like, so I didn't understand, like, people hating on her going up there, and her jokes were actually pretty funny, to be honest. So, like, yeah, the booing shit, and my friend was just, like, saying that people just kept yelling out Kanye, like, really loud, and everyone had to tell them, like, so that was crazy. I like Kim Kardashian's quick little segment. Dana White was so funny because, like, as big of a promoter as he is and in front of the camera, you could tell he was, like, so nervous to do it, but, he called Netflix and their like some liberal fucks, and he was funny with it. Tony Hinchcliffe absolutely annihilated. Like, he just went off. Like, he said something about that Bert Kreischer was the king who looked like Tiger King and Liver King had a baby that got beaten by Martin Luther. It was sick. Like, it was so good. Nikki Glazer, like, hers was amazing. Again, she had a joke that was like, Tom Brady, got scammed or, like, took place in a crypto scam with FTX, but Gronk didn't because me know this not real money. Like, every joke to Gronk was just that he's stupid. And when Gronk went up, he played right into it. Julian Edelman was so funny. Randy Moss, I won't talk shit about his jokes because he's just such a nice person and a goat. And his jokes kind of led like that. Like, he's just nice. So, like, they weren't, but Rancy and Randy Moss up there was cool. Bill Belichick came out and his jokes were sick. Robert Kraft even had the mic for a little bit. And Kevin Hart. And I was telling Emma this because Emma didn't understand anything that's gone on between Brady, Kraft, Belichick, the dynasty. Like, doesn't really know any of that. And the fact that Kevin Hart got Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft to take a shot together, especially after the Dynasty, the Apple TV series that Robert Kraft produced, was legendary. Absolutely legendary. And the fact that Kevin Hart was like, a black guy got you guys to take a shot together is probably one of the most iconic things ever in football. And that Gronk, Brady, and Belichick all took a shot together. Like, it was absolutely a monumental night. And it just, like, made me so hopeful for just future comedy in general, and then future comedy roast, where, like, even Brady went up there and made jokes about OJ Simpson and, you know, his face and his marriage. And he even said, thanks, Kim Kardashian, for coming here. Like, we know you didn't want to do it at first, and not because you didn't want to do the roast, but because you didn't want to leave the kids at home with their dad. Like, mic drop. Crazy. Like, I truthfully didn't expect Brady to go that hard. I didn't expect the roasters to, like, go as in as they used to do with Comedy Central roasts, and they did, and everybody was just as funny as the next, and making fun of every part about Tom Brady except for him kissing his kids, but every single part, from the FTX scam to his marriage to his face looking weird to his hair being fake to TB12 being weird supplement shit and bankruptcy problems to his issues, like, in football, to the Kim Kardashian rumor, to, like, insane. It was absolutely an insane roast. Netflix did it live. I have a feeling that Netflix is going to become the new Comedy Central when it comes to that. I absolutely think that, because Netflix has been the absolute forefront of comedy for a while now, like, in terms of, I mean, comedy movies, but stand-up. Like, a Netflix stand-up special is far more important than any other stream. I don't even know who really does other streaming stand-up specials. Like, Netflix is where you want to be. No one's ever done a roast before other than Comedy Central. Like, Comedy Central owned those roasts. That was their thing. Like, it was called the Comedy Central roast. Like, that's what we always looked forward to. This one brought it back. Like, this brought it back, and Kevin Hart was even joking about how, like, it made him hopeful, not only because the jokes were crazy, like, Tom Brady took it super well, and, like, everyone else took their beating well, and the crowd loved it. So, and again, this is a crowd full of celebrities and LA people. So, like, the fact that everyone was just, like, having a good time, like, I'm very, very hopeful for the future of comedy and roast. And again, bro, like, all the star-studded shit, like, they brought out Peyton Manning to shit on Tom Brady for a while and talk about how, you know, you passed me in this and that, blah, 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 and just, like, talking hella shit about Tom Brady. They brought Will Ferrell out as Ron Burgundy, just like they did with Justin Bieber, to talk shit about Brady, and he made the entire arena chant, Eli, like, you're Eli Manning's bitch. Like, so much shit. Like, I love all the ones about Tom Brady says he's looking forward to his next ring. Like, oh shit, sorry, that's Giselle. They were making fun about Giselle being with their karate instructor. Like, Nikki Glazer killed it with that. And just, I still can't fathom the fact that a Comedy Central roast with all of that had, like, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft both having an amazing time. Like, that's absurd to me. Like, that really is. Like, and then them going, like, again, having Dana White have some fun with it, Kim Kardashian. Like, it was an amazing night for comedy. It was. I know I was rambling a little bit there, but as someone who, Comedy Central roasts were, like, some of my favorite things to watch and then rewatch with people, and be able to say the most fucked up jokes to someone that understands they have to sit there and take it for a while. And Tom Brady did just that. But then he kind of made it known that he really is good at everything. Like, don't get me wrong, did Tom Brady write all of his jokes? No, but he performed them so well. And, like, saying Peyton Manning was in his shadow, talking shit about the dynasty, being like, oh yeah, if you go to NASCAR, you're not asking the guy who fucking fills up your gas how, like, he made it happen, all that type of stuff. they poked fun a little bit at Robert Kraft's massage parlors in Florida, and Brady had a funny moment going up to them and being like, "Yo, stop." Just poking fun. Like, Kevin Hart should probably be the host of every roast now, honestly. Like, he did an amazing job. He's so funny. And again, like, him setting the tone the way he did was like monumental, just going straight into it. And like every 5 minutes be like, "Fuck you, Tom." Like, anything like that. And I just think it like, when you can be so vulnerable where like you for 2 hours straight on live television in front of a crowd of thousands, but also live in front of millions, like, you're down to just eat shit, like a lot of shit in front of a lot of people, like, and the most people making fun of very, very vulnerable parts of your life. Like, I think it's sick. I think it's going to do so well for Brady in general. And the fact that if Tom Brady can sit through what he just sat through, there will definitely be more roasts. Like, absolutely. Like, bro, Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura they had this like funny, like, slideshow talking about like, the traits that serial killers have and Tom Brady has. And they were comparing him to like the Zodiac killer, Ted Bundy, and Hitler. Like, it was crazy. It was an absolutely hilarious show. So to go from Shane Gillis' show to then watching that tonight made me love comedy so much more. Made me so hopeful for the future of comedy. Made me want to do something with comedy. Like, it was awesome. Like, it really brought me back to like being younger and like fucking Happy Gilmore just came out, and then we get to go look at the roast of whoever. Like, it was sick. So I thought that was awesome. Nobody was beefing there, and yeah, the roast of Tom Brady was just absolutely insane. And speaking of beef, the beef that has been absolutely taking over the internet and just like the music world and the hip hop world in general, and is part of the reason why I had to run here tonight, is Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. So much has happened to the point where if a day ago I filmed a podcast talking about my thoughts on stuff, and I filmed one 2 days from now, it wouldn't matter. So much, like, literally tonight, Drake dropped a diss against Kendrick Lamar's 2 disses that he dropped against Drake before Drake's did. Like, it was crazy. So to break it down for you, since the beef started, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be one of those TikTok dudes that at this moment breaks down the beef from Control like 10 years ago when it started. But essentially, to go back over it again, Future and Metro Boomin's album came out. A song called Like That came out where Kendrick threw shots at Drake and J. Cole. Obviously, mostly at Drake. So then Drake comes back with Push-Ups and Tailor Made. 2 songs. Tailor Made ended up getting taken off, but Push-Ups. To which Kendrick finally responds with Euphoria and 616. 2 disses in a row going at Drake. Like, Euphoria was like 7 minutes long. 616 was like another 4 or 5 minutes long. Crazy. So then a couple days go by. Everyone's digesting that. Drake drops a song called Family Matters, which, again, is going into allegations of Kendrick beating his wife, allegations of one of Kendrick's sons being fathered by Kendrick's business partner, that the head of Kendrick's label robbed his dad, and now he's robbing Kendrick. So much stuff. So Drake drops Family Matters. 15 minutes after Drake dropped Family Matters, Kendrick drops a song called Meet the Grams, which was so goddamn creepy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it was a slow beat. It was like, hold up. It was just like, it was a slow beat. He was talking very quietly on it. And just, he went in for, I needed to see how long it was. For 6 minutes and 32 seconds, he just went in on Drake, talking about Drake was hiding an 11-year-old daughter. Drake's a pedophile. Drake should die. Like, Drake's a bad dad. Like, Drake takes Ozempic. Drake, like, just throwing so many shots against Drake right now. So essentially, both beefs are okay, they're both throwing wild allegations. Like at that, like, and I tweeted about it where I was like, at this point, whoever shows receipts wins for me. Like, the allegations on both sides are absurd, and again, not like they're gonna do that. So then after that, before Drake can drop again, Kendrick drops a song called "Not Like Us." But the thing is about Meet the Grams, the cover art was a photo of a bag that was stolen from Drake's camp that had Ozempic, Maybach gloves, and just like other shit tied to Drake to kind of diss him even more. And then the cover of Not Like Us was a picture of Drake's house, the embassy in Toronto, with those red pins that you see for predators, essentially. And Kendrick went in even more, talking, mostly doubling down on the Drake is a predator, likes younger, like all that type of shit, and dissed him twice in a row, basically in a matter of like under 24 hours, dropping both of those songs. So then that gets people like us to be like, all right, if you drop Meet the Grams 15 minutes after Family Ties, that means there had to have been a leak. Like, there's no way you would have gotten that information and been able to come up with it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not doubting the genius of Kendrick, but for you to don't like just go at this so quick, like there had to have been a leak. That's exactly what there was. Where tonight, about 2 hours ago, Drake drops his diss against Kendrick called The Heart Part 6? Yeah, The Heart Part 6. And in The Heart Part 6, Drake again now doubles down on the fact that Kendrick beats his wife. Kendrick's son is fathered by his business partner, Dave Freeze. That Drake planted all of this information on purpose, from the 11-year-old to the Ozempic stuff to everything like that, to basically discredit now everything that Kendrick's saying. And going just more in on, Kendrick being a bad person, Kendrick just getting taken advantage of, like, and I don't know, the part that's hard for me is like, and Drake going in confidently basically being like, I don't like young girls, and saying that there's no way I could be a predator and all this type of stuff, which a couple of his points I don't think I would have made on a diss track. Like, one of Drake's bars is like, I'm too big to be a predator, all that type of stuff. But it's like, bro, look at Weinstein, Epstein, R. Kelly. Like, it happens. Like, it can like, you don't have to. So I definitely disagree with him taking that angle for it. And Joe Budden and Academics had a conversation where, like, I agreed with what Joe Budden said, where with those types of allegations, like, not necessarily completely ignoring them, but just like, you're not going to win with that at all. You're just not. Like, no matter, again, everything is an allegation right now. And don't get me wrong, Drake has had a questionable past with some of his bars and shit, like, and actions and stuff. So I'm not saying I don't believe shit, but I'm just saying both sides right now are just throwing wild allegations, and both of them are kind of going around the fact of everything. Kendrick is not addressing beating his wife or his kid being fathered by, or not even being fathered, his kid's father being his business partner. And Drake is addressing that's why it's tough. Like, it's tough because it's just like, okay, Drake's did come back and was joking about the 11-year-old and the Ozempic stuff and all this and that. And people are like, oh, you're glossing over the one big part, blah, 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 blah. So then he does address the big part, says that it's all not true and shit like that. And then people go back at it that way. I do think right now, with like public opinion and how Kendrick fans are and shit like that, I just think it's a hype battle that I just don't think Drake's going to win. I don't. And I know, like, the last couple episodes before some of these disses dropped, I was on the other way around. Like, when Drake dropped push-ups, I was like, all right, like, here we go. But just Kendrick is seemingly going on the train of, I'm going to keep dropping very extremely lyrical, great raps with absolutely wild claims, and I'm not really going to back up any of the evidence. I'm just going to throw it out there. Like, because again, some of the evidence that he used in his last raps, like, quite literally have been Drake has receipts have been proven to be false. Like Drake's camp fed Kendrick fake information. Kendrick rapped it as it was real. But like Joe Budden was saying on his podcast, like, I don't think it matters anymore. Like, all is fair in love and war when it comes to this, where, again, me personally, I'm like, you should probably only have shit that you know is a 100% fact and you can legitimately show receipts or proof for that. Like, I feel like, you can't just be, I mean, what is Drake going to be like, yeah, I know you killed 100 people. Like, I feel like then it gets so watered down, because if Kendrick's just going to rap a ton of lies, Drake might as well rap a ton of lies. And then, boom, it's going to come down to like, okay, who had the better lyricism? Who played it better? This and that. And right now, like, it's Kendrick. Like, don't get me wrong. The Heart Part 6, Family Ties, and Push-Ups. 3 very, very good diss. I think Family Ties is amazing. Push-Ups was a great bop, but Family Ties is a sick diss. Like, I think Drake is making very, very good disses. It's just who it's against right now. Like, he's not going up against Meek Mill anymore, or Pusha T, or even Kanye. Like, it's against a madman who, has been waiting on this and clearly has disliked Drake for a decade now. So this isn't somebody who just like recently has had some beef with you and decided to go at it. Like, this is some dude who didn't like you. And I saw someone tweet about it that I agree with, that Kendrick took a long time in his response to Drake's initial diss, because that man's cooking up like an entire album worth of hate against Drake. Like, truthfully, like, from Push-Ups, it was almost like 2 weeks until Kendrick. It was 2 weeks until Kendrick dropped his next diss. And since then, it's been 4 songs. Like, and he's not done. And the people in his camp are saying he's not done. And so I think Kendrick took a while because he was really putting pen to paper. Like, he was coming out with this one, that one, the next one, and 5 other after that. Like, I don't think he's done right now, especially if Drake keeps responding. I don't think it's going to end well. It's definitely also turned into a coast-to-coast thing, but in rap, East Coast doesn't really, like, West Coast has that very clicked up mentality. Like, we're banding together. Like, fuck you if you're not with the West Coast. If you are, like, we got you, all this type of stuff. So I definitely think that's going on right now. Do I think this is going to be damaging to Drake's rap career in the long? Like, Drake's one of the greatest to ever do it. Like, and he's going to continue to make hits and everything like that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's one where it seems like no matter what Drake does at the moment, Kendrick fans and just like other people in general, no matter if there's fact behind it or not, are going to say that Kendrick won. As a Drake fan, I'm sitting here saying, and I've been in my group chats for the last 2 days talking about this, I do believe Kendrick's winning right now. And when it's all said, if this is all said and done, then Kendrick won. But it's not over, so I'm just saying that. But I will publicly be saying that Kendrick's winning right now. Like, absolutely. Like, Meet the Grams was just an absolute absurd diss track. Like, it was insane. But with that, the annoyance that I get from it, that I see online and that I agree with it, is that if Kendrick drops something, all of his fans are like, no need to fact check. Hell yeah. Oh, Kendrick wouldn't lie about something like that, or what? It's true. Drake dropped some shit. Oh, like what? Like what? How could you even? That might be fake. But no, if you're gonna have this have the same energy for both of them, truthfully. Like, if what Kendrick's dropping, if you want to believe every word of it, I'm believing every word of Drake's too. Like, and that's what I've been saying this. If you want to believe that Drake's a predator, fine. Then I'm believing that Kendrick's beating his wife. Like, and that his son is fathered by his father is another man. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, one's true, but the other's false. Like, neither of these two are providing us receipts. If Kendrick came with crazy receipts and Drake doesn't, different conversation to be had. It's like, okay, like, now I'm on Kendrick's side. If Drake sits here and provides crazy proof and Kendrick is still just rapping wild shit on his disses, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to believe Drake. But at the moment, I just sit here and believe both of them because they're putting them in their disses and neither of them have actual receipts to back it up. The only receipts I've seen so far is that Drake fed Kendrick false evidence for Meet the Grams and other shit. So it's just been absolutely crazy, the beef between Kendrick and Drake. Like I said, I do believe Kendrick is winning this beef, just so we can get that clear again. I think Drake is putting up an extremely good fight against it. And I don't think I talked about it in the last couple of podcasts. I still don't think that should be part of the credit a little bit, that Drake has not backed down from anyone yet. Like that, he could have just brushed off, said whatever, gone about his day. After Meet the Grams, and he's still not backing off, like, yeah, you could call that stupid. In some ways it probably could be, but, like, I gotta respect the shit out of that. Like, Kendrick is probably the greatest lyricist rapping right now / ever. And Drake is like, okay, like, I'm gonna go up with it. Fuck it, right? And I have to, on levels, I have to respect that shit. But no, Kendrick's winning right now. And I just don't know. Again, Drake dropped 2 hours ago. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick already has a song made / is out there right now / dropping. Let me just check Twitter really quick, because God knows if he could have dropped already. Okay, good. So, no, Kendrick has not dropped yet. But no, at the moment, it's still ongoing. So I don't have a winner yet. They're still dissing each other back and forth. And judging by this rap beef, Kendrick hates that man. I mean, Drake may like not like Kendrick and be annoyed by him and shit like that, but Kendrick seemingly fucking hates Drake. Like, literally, he told Drake to die 3 times on one of his disses. Literally said, you should go die. Like, that's kind of absurd. Like, that's pretty crazy. And also, I think Kendrick's being a little hypocritical in this. Like, talking about Drake's got predators on his team, or Drake is blah, blah, blah. It's like, Kendrick publicly backed R. Kelly. Kendrick has a song with Kodak Black. Like, you can't sit here and be, Mr. Activist, and then, you're just hypocritical about the entire thing. Like, I do think Kendrick is being very hypocritical about stuff. Drake's claims of that Kendrick, the activist, is probably out here messing with white girls. Like, I don't doubt that. Like, why, if he does have, and again, certain things I don't understand. We're like, okay, I'm going to believe them as true. Where, like, Kendrick proposed to his girl in 2015, has 2 kids with her, has yet to marry her, and he lives in New York and she lives in California. Like, what sense does that make? Like, so sometimes I guess that might lead me to believe, like, all right, Drake's telling the truth on a lot of that shit, because it's weird shit. Like, so I'm not going to be one of those people that's just like blindly on one person's side. Like, it's both of them are like, Kendrick's bringing up some points. Like, Drake has a very weird past with comments he's made to girls and just ways he's moved and shit like that has been some weird shit. Absolutely. So with both of them, I'm kind of on the fence where I'm like, all right, like, both y'all have been doing some fucked up shit. Like, so I don't know who's true, who's not, like, what it's going as. So all I know at the moment, lyrically, diss track wise, Kendrick is winning at the moment. And we're just going to balls in Kendrick's court now. Drake just dropped this, and if Kendrick's next one is kind of whack, then another conversation will be had, and we'll talk more about, what goes on after that. And, maybe Drake's done after this. Maybe Drake truthfully is like, you know what? Like, I'm bowing out. I'm done. Like, I'm over this. But it remains to be seen. And the beef is just absolutely crazy right now. So those are my updated thoughts on it, that Drake dropped his new track literally a couple hours ago. That's why I had to run into the studio today to talk about some shit. Cause, I didn't like, obviously, it needs to be updated newly every other second, because they're dropping disses at a crazy rate. This Kendrick versus Drake rap beef right now is probably the biggest rap beef in history after Pac and Biggie, truthfully. Like, I don't think there's a bigger rap beef in history other than Tupac and Biggie Smalls that's been at this magnitude, other than Drake and Kendrick. 2 goats going at it right now, non-stop. It's not like they just both diss each other a little bit and then they're non-stop going at each other. So I'm still getting my popcorn out, seeing what's going to end with it. But obviously, I got respect for both of them for going at it. And it's, again, like, a lot of just crazy claims on both sides. And I don't know if people are going to start showing receipts for all this info that's coming out and shit, or what the next diss is going to be. But at the moment, I'm just on the fence, and I have Kendrick winning right now. So, I hope that's not hard to hear for some people, but that's just where we're at with the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef at the moment and that saga. So that's kind of crazy. On a lighter note, after talking about some rap beef, I wanted to get into some basketball talk, because also a couple podcasts ago, I talked about the I talked about the WNBA debut of Caitlin Clark, and then obviously you have Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, Cameron Brink, etc. But to start off with Caitlin Clark, because I'm a big Caitlin Clark guy, shout out her. She killed it. I think she's ready for the WNBA. I do. Don't get me wrong. I know it's been one game, but she had 11 points in the first quarter, ended with 21. I think she had like 4 threes. I forget what her stat line was. Let me look up Caitlin Clark's stat line. Caitlin Clark stats. Indiana Fever. Let's see it. I mean, they've only played one game, so. Okay, it just doesn't want to fucking. Oh, stats. There we go. No information. Caitlin Clark's stats. WNBA. So Caitlin went for 21 points, 3 3-pointers. Okay, it just still doesn't want to. Oh, okay. And they did lose to the Wings, but yeah, 21 points, 6 for 15, 4 for 5 3 throws, 5 for 13 3-pointers. So 5 3-pointers, which is crazy. So Caitlin Clark, I do think, is very ready for the WNBA, given she's still literally one game in, has a long way to go. But I do think she is here. Caitlin Clark is here. She's going to keep doing this shit. She's getting trained, not like she's only going to get better than this. And again, I said it last podcast. Do I think she's going to be out here dropping 40 every night? No. Do I think in a little while she's going to be giving you in the WNBA what she was giving us at Iowa? Absolutely. She is going to be the problem in the WNBA, no doubt in my mind. And she killed opening day. I'm hyped because I get to go see her versus Cameron Brink in about 2-3 weeks, which is awesome because I really wanted to go see both of them ball out. And obviously I'm in Los Angeles and the Sparks play here. So that'll be a really cool game, and I'll be able to give a live update of what Caitlin Clark's game was like. But no, I think she's going to be a problem. Again, 5 threes in her first WNBA game with 21 points. Like, not too shabby. I think she's going to do just fine, and I think she's here. So shout out Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso killed it. Cameron Brink killed it. So WNBA is alive and well. Alive and well. One side note with the WNBA too, that I saw a lot of people mad that the Phoenix Mercury posted a photo of Diana Taurasi calling her the White Mamba, and people were mad at that, of course, without doing any of their research. Like, Kobe Bryant nicknamed Diana Taurasi the White Mamba. Like, Kobe Bryant himself gave her that nickname because he knew she was a dog. Like, and she is. Like, don't get me wrong, she was a hater, like, a couple months back, but she's a dog nonetheless. I mean, she's probably up there, if not the GOAT of the WNBA at the moment. It's probably Diana Taurasi. So it's like, when people like want to make that assumption and just hate on the WNBA for that, like, I don't get it, because she's like a dog. Like, and the Black Mamba gave her that nickname himself. So like, I don't understand why people are running to their keyboard like, disrespectful. Like, Kobe gave her that nickname. So like, go fucking kick rock. So that's all I got to say about that one of the WNBA. And I'm excited to see the rest of this fucking season. But with NBA, and I made sure to highlight this, Anthony Edwards is the truth. I do think that. Obviously, over the last little while, and for a while on this podcast, like, I've been hyping Anthony Edwards up regardless, and I'm just gonna keep doubling down on it because he really is the truth. They played the Nuggets, game 1 of their series. They got the W. Edwards had 43 points, and he's a problem. He really is a problem, and I think Denver's in trouble, honestly, because of the size thing too. Like, when you got Kat and Rudy Gobert on the floor, and the only big man you really have is Jokic, it's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong. the reigning NBA champs, Denver Nuggets, are a very fucking good basketball team. I'm not saying this is going to be a sweep, nothing like that. But they're in for a series. The Nuggets are absolutely in for a series with the Timberwolves because they're given something to the Nuggets that the Lakers didn't, and that's youth and size. Because again, the only size the Lakers had was Davis slash, someone having to account for Bron. But again, Bron scored like 30 a game anyway, so it's like Bron just didn't really have too much help other than Davis. But no, Anthony Edwards is the truth. I really do. I think he's Michael Jordan's long lost son, and he's awesome. And again, I was getting hate on my last post for it because people think, oh, Luka, Tatum, Giannis, etc. Anthony Edwards will be the next face of the NBA. Just count on it right now. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, his game speaks for himself, so there's that. He is such a good media personality. And what he does in, after game interviews and how he interacts with his teammates and the fun shit he does, he's got the personality for that. I'm not saying, because again, I know Tatum fans and Doncic fans and Giannis fans and are going to be like, well, Jason Tatum is super fun too. I don't know. Anthony Edwards has such a fun personality and he's a fucking dog. So Anthony Edwards is just the truth. He really is. And I don't see him slowing down right now. And again, his athleticism is just absolutely insane. So I love to see it. And yeah, I'm excited to see where the NBA playoffs go. The Cavs just beat the Mavericks, so obviously the Cavs go on to play the Knicks. To see that. Oh, wait, sorry. No, the Cavs go on to play Boston. Knicks are playing Indiana. It's going to be Eastern Conference is going to be fun to watch, and I hopefully think the Eastern Conference Finals will be the Knicks versus Boston because that'll just be absolutely absurd. I'm hoping that Western Conference Finals is Minnesota at Timberwolves. I think that would be awesome too. That'll be very fun to watch. So, no, we got a lot of stuff. OKC. I love that. I don't know. That one's tough. OKC versus Mavs because again, I love everything that OKC's doing, but Doncic and Kyrie are just very, very fun to watch. So we'll leave it at that. But NBA playoffs have been very, very fun to watch. Even without the Lakers or Golden State or the Suns in it, or Giannis in it right now, it's very, very fun to watch. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And see how the fights do, how the people are banging it out. But no, speaking of another fight that hasn't happened yet, contracts aren't signed yet, but it just gets me really curious because these are two people that I've been around before and, wondering what will happen with it is Bryce Hall versus Taylor Holder. It originally happened and started getting talked about when, the beef goes back a little while that I don't have any information on stuff, but something happened, who knows what. Taylor Holder leaves, Bryce Hall talks nonstop shit about him, goes back and forth for a little bit, dies out. Gets reignited again when Taylor Holder enters in a boxing match for Misfits, wins his boxing match, Bryce is present in it, talking a ton of shit to Taylor, both of them back and forth, I'll fuck you up, you're 1-0 and only blah, 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 you haven't fought anyone real, all that type of stuff. So then Bryce is like, all right, I'll fight you in bare knuckle boxing, but sign the contract. That's what we'll fight each other. So then flashback a couple weeks ago. I wish this was a real tree. It's not. Flashback to a couple weeks ago, and there was a bare knuckle fighting event, and Bryce and Taylor were both at it, and both of them got into a physical altercation with each other, and supposedly Taylor got a hit in on Bryce, and that revs it up even more. And honestly, this is a fight I think a lot of people would want to see. I think this fight would do very, very well from a numbers standpoint, just from people that have known their history over the last couple of years. I think both of them are relatively at the same fighting level. I think Bryce obviously has taken it way more serious over the last couple of years and entering bare knuckle, doing a little more training. Taylor obviously is bigger and stronger than Bryce, so I think it evens it out on that regard. But that would be a fight I would love to see. Be Bryce Hall versus Taylor Holder. I would put my money on Bryce Hall. Absolutely. Shout out Annie. I would definitely put my money on Bryce Hall. I think he would end up fucking Taylor up, truthfully. because, again, he's got a little more experience. He's a little more, like, not crafty, but just, like, energized with it. Obviously, he has a lot of hate for Taylor Holder right now. He's got a reason to do it. And I think Bryce has more to lose, so I think obviously that would make him put more on the line for it. So I definitely think Bryce will win that fight. I really, really do. And that's a fight I would really, really like to see for the TikTok culture. I think that would be a good one to see. And I see people like, oh, it makes me sad. What it could. We're here now. We're here now. No caring about what that was. We're here now. These two want to fight each other. You're both gonna get paid. You're both gonna make a ton of money. Let's just do it. I know it's about egos and you don't want to lose in a fight to this guy. Fuck it. Let's just do this shit. All right. I think it would be awesome. So yeah, that'd be my thoughts on that. Oh, and I also said that after I went to go see Challengers, the movie was Zendaya, the tennis movie was Zendaya. I would give the podcast a little update on it. And phenomenal movie. Absolutely phenomenal movie. I didn't think I could dislike Zendaya as a character. I really didn't. Obviously in Spider-Man and Dude, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, and just Zendaya as a person. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, shout out Zendaya. I didn't think I could dislike Zendaya as a person. And going into my movie reviewer phase right now, I see a lot of different angles. Like, I see the angles of she was just ruthless, wanted to get what she wanted, succeeded in that, and girl boss shit. Shout out to that. I see the other angle of like, all right, like she was definitely in love with this dude the whole time. Decided, fuck that, I'm going with his friend because I can basically my career is done because I'm hurt. So I'm just gonna coach this dude to basically be me, and we're just gonna make a fuckload of money together. And then I'm just gonna like run it. Our love is based off of his career, and that's it. And it kind of like, and those were the two angles that I was going back and forth with, where I'm like, all right, what one? And then end of the movie, the friend, not Aaron Donaldson, but his foe, Zendaya calls him late at night. They get picked up. Zendaya's like, I'm not here to fuck. Like, I need you to throw the game, whatever. Boom, what happens? They fuck. Like, well, he's in bed with his daughter. That was, that scene crushed me. I was like, Zendaya, why? Zendaya, why? And in the end of the movie, they told each other, because I know he had an inkling, and he kind of pinpointed it at the end of the movie. He was just like, you hate him. And she was like, no, I don't hate him. Like, we have a kid together. We have a family, yada, yada. And he's like, no, you hate him and you love me because I'm a piece of shit just like you. And then boom, they go into it. And don't get me wrong, I very well understand like the girl boss shit. Shout out to that. But I just think she was I don't necessarily know evil, because it's not like from the beginning, like from the very beginning when she met them, when she was wearing the blue dress at that party. Like, I don't think then she was sitting here planning like, yeah, I'm going to fuck both of these boys over. Like, but I don't think that was ever the plan. I do think she had some like nefarious intentions in her, because she clearly wanted the other dude. And then, but also it's tough because like Donaldson stole her from him like purposefully. And he knew it was crazy. There's still so much that I'm going to need to watch it a couple more times to really get into it. But from like my base view is fucking bravo. Like I did not think that, first off, just great film in general. Like the cinematography, the music, just like the ups and downs of it. Like it was super serious. Like it was super great in the beginning, and then it just goes all to shit. Like, and I like the back and forth method where it was just like present day before the big match 13 years ago. 2 days before the big match, 11 years. Like, I liked the back and forth a lot, and I didn't think I could hate Zendaya as a character, and I kind of did. And again, I might need to watch it again to like really figure out my feelings to that, but at the moment, that's just where I'm at. But the next day, we went to go play pickleball, so I was on my Challenger shit. But no, I thought it was a phenomenal movie, honestly. Tom Holland was probably sitting there like, fuck. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that that's part of acting, but I'm sure part of him was sitting there like, fuck, like, goddamn, like, because I don't think anyone's seen that side of Zendaya before. And even Zendaya joked about it in some interviews where like she watched it with her niece, and her niece was like, "Oh my god!" Like, again, I know that comes with acting, but even me, again, who's used to Zendaya as Mary Jane or in Dune, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like, holy shit! But no, tremendous movie. I thought that was awesome. So, no, that was my update on challengers. But no, that's really been all in the life of Casey recently, and my thoughts on shit. I just had to come in here and give those updates because shit, this last 24 hours has been crazy, from Drake and Kendrick beef, Roast of Tom Brady, seeing Shane Gillis live, comedy being fucking back, and I thought it was amazing. So I wanted to run in here. It's 10 p.m. right now on a Sunday night, so, always going to be doing this shit. But no, that was like, I wanted to talk about, oh, my voice is cracked. I wanted to talk about all that shit because I thought it was awesome. And yeah, I'm working on, if anyone who ever watches any of this shit, could point me in the directions of some cool guests. If you got some contacts, like, yo, Drake, Kendrick, Zendaya, fucking Tom Brady or Kim Kardashian, or who, like, I would love to, get you on the podcast. Oh, also a side note, really quick, in the roast of Tom Brady, when Tom went up last to do his roast, he was taking shots at other NFL fans and this and that, and he kind of threw a little diss at Kansas City, talking about that, their eras have been whack, and now their fans are just 14-year-old girls, and I was like, ooh, Tom, but I thought it was a good joke. So Tom didn't come for the Swifties. I just thought it was a really good joke, kind of making fun of Kansas City as a whole, to be honest. So, and he shit on the Buffalo Bills, he shit on the Jets, he shit on the Broncos, he shit on the Colts. Like, he made a joke talking about, I know, sorry if I'm being annoying, but he made a joke about how a Colt is just a Bronco who hasn't fucked yet. And Tom really came out of his shell. I don't know if I talked about it, but Tom Brady came out of his shell, talked his shit. He went up as cocky Tom Brady, which I love. Like, at this point, be cocky. Like, you really should. And yeah, the whole roast was awesome. I thought it was amazing. I'll probably talk more about it, but we'll leave it mostly at that. I thought it was sick. Shout out to Kevin Hart, fucking Nikki Glazer, who did amazing, Tony Hinchcliffe, Jeff Ross, Andrew Schulz, Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. Oh my God. Obviously Edelman, Gronk, and Moss. The roast was awesome, and it made my Sunday night. So it put me in a mood to want to come and talk some fun shit. So, no, that's where we're at right now, and no, it was fun. So you'll get another little episode soon, because I want to get this one out there, talk about my shit. And no, honestly, again, I love doing this shit. I love it so fucking much. And yeah, so that's it for episode 6x6, episode 36, honestly. And, we're out here vibing. I'm going to go get some Chipotle and enjoy the rest of my night. But until next time, peace.